Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday, the 7th day of July 2013. My name's Derek. Welcome to today's video. Three different time frames for silver, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. But I want to go over a comment that I got from Ryan just a few days ago. And it says, haven't seen a post in a while, wondering how things are going. Things are going fine. And I'm going to say what Bernanke says that, he says interest rates will remain near zero for an extended period of time, and the amount of videos being close to zero or once a week kind of deal are going to remain this way for an extended period of time, but nowhere near as extended. Probably into the fall. I don't plan on doing many videos this summer at all. Where do you see the markets going for the remainder of 2013? I think the best thing for me to state is I think a fly on the wall at offices like JP Morgan, HSBC, or any of the major institutions that control the price of silver have a better idea than I do. My whole point is there are major institutions, they want to smack it down. They will, and they have done so. To me, there is only three ways that the price of silver can go higher. I'm going to tell you the three ways, and I think it's either going to be number one or number two that will make it go higher. Number one, the powers that be want them to go higher. And if they want them to go higher, they will. Number two, the powers that be don't want them to go higher. They want them to stay sideways or go lower, but are unable to stop it from going higher. Number three, the human race unites, loses faith in currency, enough of them, of course, and then action-reaction principles will take place by itself. Again, I would expect it to be number one or number two. I've really been wondering how long silver can stay under 20 and also how much lower it could dip. I have a feeling that the bottom isn't in yet. I don't know. I'm just going to continue evaluating the message of the market. Every time a new lower low comes in, I'm going to state what the next levels of support will be. Of course, now the next one is 17 and a half, and then going down below that, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8 and a half, 6, or 8, 6, and then you have the big range of 4 and 5. You know, I'd have no idea how much lower it can go, but it's already lower than it's extremely low right now. Have you been stacking much at these levels, or are you continuing to wait for a further dip? I'm not looking for your investment advice or anything, just wondering your opinion. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, an investment advisor. I look at the definitions of investing and gambling as the same and are on the proponent that gambling's definition should be changed to making wagers with the probability odds are against your favor or your EV, expected value, in the negatives. Okay. Therefore, am I buying at these levels? I'm waiting for 1750. I don't have that much fiat currency where I can buy just all the time, really. So I can only buy very seldomly. And I'm waiting for 1750. The day 1750 hits is the day that I buy. And I would buy lower than $18.50 spot. Even hoping to buy below 17 spot if it's that kind of day. Okay, so now let's get into the charts, and what we have is the daily chart. We have a running average from this particular high, which is where the major moves occurred. There hasn't been 2 days since the two largest selling days, of course. You could take this high, you could use this high, you could use this high, you could use this high, now you could use that high. There's just so many different significant key highs over the last 9 months or so. And I've been looking a lot at this 18 average for when you're in this 18 average and it's sideways, you are very much neutral. When you're within this 18 average in a declining 18 average, you're in a downtrend in a correctionary phase, And that doesn't mean it's going to go lower from there, but when you see the break below that 18 average like in here, you can possibly expect a large fast move. So the situations where that occurred, up in here, it goes to the 18 average, breaks below it here, and then you have a move down to here. Then in here you broke below the 18 average, but it really didn't do anything. It went down, finding this support here, then again it broke below this average in here, and then the move to here. And on Friday, it has just done the exact same thing again. That was another breakdown below this 18 average. So then what that tells me is the probability odds that it tests the last previous low, that low is $18.21, is fairly high. Oftentimes when you do this, you either A, get support at this level and maybe it's very weak and then boom, it crashes, or it just finds like little to no support and you've once again find a new low. It's been the way this market, of course, has been going. As far as trend lines on this, this is I think the most key one. It's a mile away from this trend line in itself. I'm waiting for this thing to get above the 18 average and not only get above it, but spend a couple of days minimum where the lowest price is above the 18 average of highs. There has been several days where the highest price has been below the 18 average of lows. That's what bear markets look like. Of course, bull markets is several days where the lowest price is above the high. Okay, next chart will be the weekly one, but before we do that, let's just state down 1/3 of its value from here, down 37% from here, and up 3.8% from here. Next chart, weekly chart. And this last week was the, 15th consecutive week where we had a high lower than the most previous one. 15 consecutive weeks, as well as 21 of the last 22 weeks has a lower high from the last one. Interesting enough. There was a higher low this last week, but that doesn't say too much. 3 consecutive weeks that have been lower. And all of the gains, look at the size of the green candles. That's weak, up week, another weak one, extremely weak up week, okay up week, weak, weak. There hasn't been many good weeks since in here. And of course, when we had that run, it had broken above this 18 average, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 periods or so going above it, but was unable to find support within this 18 average of band and then break above resistance. Also within this weekly chart, we can draw some trend lines as well. Same thing as the daily chart. You're going to draw a whole bunch of them. And there you go. There's just such a major downtrend to say the least. 26, key support area. Don't be surprised when the time is right when we go up there that this level is significantly that of resistance. Of course, it's still got to test this 18 average of highs. It hasn't done that since, or 18 average of closes even, the whole band, since it broke below the chart back in here at the start of this year. Monthly chart, but before you do that, just go through some of the percentages. Down 50% from here, down 46% from this high, and yeah, pretty much a weak looking chart to say the least right now. Final chart, monthly chart. And within the monthly chart, there is 9 consecutive months where we've had a lower high from the previous one. And the 8-month streak of lower lows was actually snapped last week. It was an unvolatile month so far. Okay, I can't say it snapped. No, I'm not going to say it snapped. If we could stay above this month, it would not be that. Okay. The running average from this low. Obviously, it's starting to decline, and the average participant, basically since 2008, if you buy once a month or the same amount every month, is in that of a losing position. Last month, the loss was 11.27%. We're off to another weak start, down 3.72%. It's also 5 consecutive months in a row of declining prices. So when I'm talking about all of this, obviously it's been hit hard, manipulated hard. The entire portion of this chart shows a manipulated chart. I'm not going to do so. I could show you a 40-year chart, and the entire 40-year chart would be manipulated as well. I could show you a 100-year chart, and the entire 100-year chart has been manipulated. So on the outset, when I was talking about the 3 ways of silver going higher, with the powers that be bringing it higher, not wanting it higher but doing so, or the human race losing faith in currency and uniting, that's really what that might need to happen, because the human race isn't uniting. So how this thing's going to play out, I really don't know. But I do see signs of these things just falling apart, but slower than watching the grass grow. Is it a time to buy? You have to ask yourself that. I myself like or think it's better to buy low. So now you have to ask yourself a question. With the price down 62% from its last high, if it is down too much or up too much or at fair prices. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great week, and I'll talk to you next weekend.